So I could put my hat on forwards, and then the sun, using my hat as a hat. Oh, brilliant. Sometimes I shock myself with my logic. Nice to be here. Nice to see you all. Even though I can't see you. I think you know what I mean, though. So, I have recently been, I guess you could say, bombarding myself with information related to, in its most simplistic terms, presence. Enjoying and infusing yourself in the present moment. You may have heard of Eckhart Tolle. He wrote the book Power of Now, among other books. And I haven't read the book yet. A good friend of mine actually owns the book, and I've been trying to get it from him, but it just hasn't. I'll probably end up getting it today because it's my day off. And but I understand the teaching. It hits close to home because I kind of discovered the idea of the teaching before I learned it through that medium. So, which was YouTube videos. Eckhart Tolle's channel. So what does it mean to be present and the power of now, like the book's title is? It's in its essence. This is all, of course, my perspective and my opinion, I suppose you could say, but it's being like the animal. It's getting to your animalistic essence, and that is non-derogatory in any way. It's actually, I would argue, closer to the higher self, because in society and just in the daily rigmarole that we have to go through, it's geared towards bringing your presence into your head, right? Like, into your mind, which, of course, your mind and ego are one and the same, or very, very closely related. You can't have one without the other, of course. Right, Bean? So, presence is bringing the consciousness that is you back into the entire body. So when I say this, and I'm saying it like right now, like I'm attempting, and I would like to believe practicing this this practice, in the sense that while I'm saying this, I am trying to not be as much in my head, trying to, bring the thought processes out by not thinking about it, but just letting them flow from another source, not my mind per se. And the way I do this is, I don't even know if it's the way I do it, but while I'm doing this, I'm attempting to have my body be as present as possible. What I mean by that is feeling my body, feeling the life in my body. So while I'm talking to you, I am feeling my fingers on the glass. I'm feeling my feet in my shoes. I'm feeling the clothes like touch against my skin. All this presence, of course, even the senses that I feel, the sun on my face, not now in my eyes. The wind, of course. All these things can go on, and it's just like, the processes that go on inside the body that we have no control over. Our mind doesn't, or they would fall apart and you would be dead and not exist, because the mind could never control the complexity of the body. I'm able to dictate what I'm attempting to get across while, hey, don't be, well, I guess you can graze. It's not a big deal. Is that tasty greens? Beans eating greens. Just like a little cow. So, distractions, right? It's funny. When you practice presence and just letting your essence, absorb what is in the moment, the colors, the depth of your vision. It doesn't even matter if you have bad vision. If you have bad vision, I argue that's the way you're supposed to experience the world. It will balance out with other senses. We've also heard of, and maybe know someone that has a sense, one of their 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one of their senses. What are you doing? That doesn't work particularly well. Maybe sight, maybe hearing. Obviously, hearing could be a choice as well, but that's another topic. Which, of course, presence helps a lot of listening. But maybe someone can't hear, right? So all these different things that don't work, and the other senses will balance that out. So it's just another way of experiencing this life. Unfortunately, with the way that, society and just everything's structured, it's structured towards different senses. You need to see things. You don't need to, but it's geared towards, seeing things and hearing things. So it makes it more difficult for the people that can't do that as well. So you need to get glasses, or you need to get eye surgery, or what have you. In our natural state, I would argue that that's not how it's supposed to be. That you are just supposed to experience it the way that your body has progressed throughout your life. And I would also caveat, add in, little asterisk, the more you take care of yourself, the less those senses would dull and maybe subside. So the power of now. Let's say, as an example, well, I'll give you an example. So I've legitimately been bombarding myself with this. I usually listen to and watch perhaps political videos and research issues politically that are going on in the world. You may have heard of turmoil in Ukraine going on right now. I know about it. I know what it could mean. I know what it could spell for humanity as a whole. Its location is geopolitically quite what's the word? Quite, they're in the middle of a lot of different geopolitical things. But instead of kicking up leaves, instead of honing in on these negative things, they certainly are negative. Learning about them isn't negative, and understanding what's going on isn't negative. But I have chosen to not do that as much recently and learn about the power of now. So the other day, my car got towed from my girlfriend's apartment complex, and a couple $100 later, I was able to get it back. During that process, I dealt with some rather unconscious humans that really could care less about what it means to me. It wasn't a horrific experience or anything, but of course incredibly frustrating. Legitimately my car was stolen and I had to pay to get it back. I find that to be what some would consider a racket. It was racketeering in a sense, because there was no reason my car should have been taken, because it was the beginning of a 3-day weekend and there was many, many, many parking spaces available. I just didn't have a parking pass. I digress. Dealing with this at almost 2 o'clock, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. Obviously, emotions rose up in me. A fair amount of frustration and anger. But instead of taking it out on maybe this unconscious individual that is just doing their job and doing it to the best of their ability, what was my mindset? I stood in the bitter cold. I won't say bitter, because there's a lot of people in the world dealing with a lot more bitter cold. But it was 2 in the morning, and it was quite cold. I wasn't dressed for it, that's for sure. And I was just present while this gentleman was taking his jolly sweet time to write up, the document so I could get my car back in the middle of a parking lot at 2 a.m. I just stood there in presence. I was feeling the sweater I was wearing on my skin. I was breathing the air, and I appreciated that. I was appreciating being outside instead of being inside at that moment. And just knowing that at this moment in time, losing 200 and whatever dollars affects me in no way. Affects that moment in no way. One of the beautiful parts of the teaching of the power of now is nothing ever happens in the future. Nothing has ever happened in the past. It always happens now. Always. It's the only way. So putting something off to the future isn't a thing. You say, oh, I'll do that in the future. No, it will happen now, if that makes sense. And so that, of course, got into my mind, or my soul, my essence, me, and I realized that at this moment, losing a couple $100 means absolutely nothing. Let's say I was lower, closer to maybe, for lack of a better term, poverty, or just that $100 did affect me. Let's put myself in another person's shoes. It still doesn't affect you in that moment. If you're being present, you could lose all your money, and in that moment you are still okay. And in the future, that doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist. Oh, I'm in the now. Oh, I'm in the now. I was in the now then. When you are present, you can stay far more positive, influencing the outcome of a situation, in essence, making everything more positive. I've had issues in my mind over the years of confrontation. I had, maybe semi-traumatic experiences with confrontation, and it closed me up, certainly. I would argue that I'd say that I fear confrontation. Maybe more than some. I'd say other people that I know are more confrontational than I am. So I believe that the power of now and being present and not worrying about the future presence makes it so that confrontation almost isn't a thing that exists, one, and certainly that I should be worried about or let stress me out. When confrontation, it will put it there, maybe positive or negative, which there is really no such thing. It's all in how you go about doing it, going about confronting someone about something. It would never affect me negatively. I'm still working on it. I still have not broken through. I might need some help with someone to deal with that. We shall see. But I do understand how much being present will empower me dealing with that personal issue. So I might do more videos related to this topic. I'm very passionate about it. It aligns with all my beliefs, being a Christian and all that, so it's quite powerful. It's the essence of being human. It's the essence of being a being, I would argue, because, let's just take a gander right quick at one of the most present beings that I've ever met. Just presence. Just looks around. Presence. The plant. That is just presence. The orange tree. It is presence. Y'all just hang out. God knows what kind of consciousness they have. If you're being present and absolutely loving the moment you're in, you wouldn't be doing much, just like that orange, just like that bean sprout. So it makes you wonder how much consciousness is really around you. Obviously, this was a bit deeper of a topic than I'm usually doing, but it's been on my mind a lot. Not on my mind, in me. I'm trying to, when you talk about your mind, you create a split in your personality, which isn't really there. And then you make it so you can like talk to yourself and stuff, get frustrated with your mind, get frustrated with you. And that's not appropriate. It won't ever be fulfilling. So I recommend always bringing it down to I or me, however you want to do it, your essence, your consciousness. I am consciousness. That is what I am. I don't need to, I'll end on this one because it's probably the most profound thing because it's, I guess you could argue, a new age way of legitimizing my beliefs in Christianity and creation and eternal life and all that. There is no opposite of death. There is no opposite of death. The opposite of death, I said that incorrectly, but it'll work out. There is an opposite of death. The opposite of death is birth. There is no opposite of life. Life and death are not opposites. The opposite of death is birth. So life keeps going in one form or another. So that was pretty profound. And what I'll end with, this orange juice will not stay the same, right? It's living. I just juiced it. There's grapefruit in there as well. It's going inside of me. It will transmute into a different form of life and will give me life essence. That's my belief. And then hopefully that life will shine through me and other people can absorb that, giving them life, and it just... Windy day. Chemtraily day. Beautiful day. I love everyone and everything. Stay present. Subscribe to Eckhart Tolle's channel. It's absolutely brilliant, and he is a brilliant human being. And just practice the power of now. Practice it. Just look at everything around you and bring it back into your body. That's really the essence of it, coming back in your body, getting out of the mind, into the body, into the heart. Thanks for watching. Like, maybe share if someone you know might be interested in this topic. And please subscribe, because I'm going to start editing my videos and make it look far more professional. Because that's the name of the game. Why not polish what's already something great? Thanks, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye.